I should start by saying I'm more of an anti-theist than an atheist. In other words, my view is not just that there is no reason to believe that there is a deity, but that it's a good thing that that's not the case. If you want to have power over other human beings, the most potent way, the most effective way of claiming and exerting power over fellow humans is to say you're doing it in God's name, that you're God's appointed. They can't challenge that. You can't just say, hey, I'm me, you should do what I say. The best thing is to say, no, no, I'm doing God's work here. I am God's representative on earth. That's been, ever since antiquity, the easiest way of establishing a dictatorship, and the worst dictatorships today are still theocratic ones. So what this all represents is an argument over unresolved contradictions in the real world. And that, you'll notice, is where priests really want power. Look at the way the Pope behaves. Look at the way the Ayatollahs behave. Look at the way the rabbis, on the West Bank, stealing other people's property in the name of God, behave. Do they want power in this world or the next? It's pretty obvious which one they want power in, and property too.
If there is no God, why do you spend your whole life trying to convince people that there isn't? Why don't you just stay home?
It isn't my whole career, for one thing. It's become a major preoccupation of my life, though, in the last 8 or 9 years, especially since September 11, 2001, to try and help generate an opposition to theocracy and its depredations internationally. That is now probably my main political preoccupation. To help people in Afghanistan, in Somalia, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Israel, resist those who sincerely want to encompass the destruction of civilization. Why now? Why am I doing this now, people ask. Well, I'll tell you why now, because in the last few years it's become impossible to turn a page of a newspaper without being, as the religious would say, offended. In other words, I don't think I sound self-pitying if I say that I'm offended that a cartoonist in a tiny democratic country in Scandinavia, Denmark, can't do his job without a death threat, and that no American magazine or newspaper would reprint those cartoons, either to elucidate the question or in solidarity. I'm offended that civil society in Iraq is being destroyed, leveled by the parties of God. I'm offended that people in this country believe that they have the right to advocate the teaching of garbage to children under the fatuous name of intelligent design. The theist says, when I tell you what to do, Christopher, I have God on my side. He can tell what God wants of me, what length I should shave off the end of my penis, what the diet should be, what the dietary laws ought to be, who I should sleep with, and in what position. And various other things. And since God doesn't ever directly appear and say, do it this way, it's done for him, and this is really convenient, by human representatives who claim to act in his name. So that's why I think your standard of proof should be a great deal higher, because if the reason this point is important to you is because it would mean real power in the only world that actually exists, which is the material world, of you over me. And you wonder why I'm not keen.
Okay,
all this in the round, and I could say more, it's an excellent thing that there's absolutely no reason to believe any of it to be true.